from Arkansas's #1 trusted source for weather. This is a severe weather alert.
Alrighty, good afternoon, Arkansas. This is Assistant Chief Forecaster Cameron back here once again. We're going to give you guys a quick live update going over the potential significant severe weather as we get towards the day tomorrow, where you guys need to know the timing, the risk areas, and stuff like that. So there has been some changes to the risk area from last night when I did a video on YouTube and with the lunch update we got today here. So I'm going to go over all that, and also I'm going to kind of tackle a few questions here. And I do realize, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm doing this live stream. I will not be in office tomorrow. It will be Noah that will be doing live streams. I know a lot of people don't like that, but it is my birthday weekend. I am going to go storm chasing tomorrow, give Noah those reports from the field and stuff like that. So tomorrow, you are in great hands. He does an amazing job. We're making sure that you guys are going to be good, so you don't have to worry about that come tomorrow here. But I am going to give you guys a live stream going over what to expect going into tomorrow here. Because I know a lot of people, at first Saturday was just going to be a sunny day and stuff like that, and then we now talking about the potential of organized severe weather. So I'm going to go over all that timing, and I'm going to answer your questions as well. But I want to talk to you guys about this graphic in particular, and you've seen this a lot, especially on our end, because a lot of people are still dealing with this over the last couple of events and stuff like that. So make sure that you are preparing, you're staying ahead, you're knowing what's coming. That's the biggest thing I want to stress to you guys right now. Okay, the questions and stuff today have been very, very low because a lot of people have been paying attention to the graphics and stuff like that, which is amazing. So continue to do that. Know your counties, know your surrounding counties. We're going to have a map posted on the page later on this afternoon, so you don't have to worry about that. But just make sure you know that. Also, have multiple ways to get warnings. If you have an Android, you can have access to our mobile app. Apple, we're still dealing with a very tedious process where Apple, and hopefully we should have it up by some point next week. But the process with Apple has not been friendly. So that's the reason why Android was quick, easy. We got it out. Apple is taking a little bit longer to get it going. So that's the biggest thing with that here. But if you do have an Android phone, you can go download our app, go to the Play Store, go to Arkansas Weather Watchers. If you don't, if you have like a Samsung tablet or something like that, you can still do the same thing here. Also, track the radar updates. That's going to be the biggest thing tomorrow. My entire team, they're going to be posting radar updates all day long, including those that are going to be severe thunderstorm warned. If you have any tornado warnings tomorrow, Noah will be here. He will give you guys the best coverage he can. So just be patient with him, guys. That's the biggest thing. But I am going to be out in the field this weekend giving you guys those updates from the road. So going to be the biggest thing we're going to talk to you guys this. And like I said before, if you're planning on traveling, I do know there's a lot of sport activities going on tomorrow. I know a lot of people have outdoor plans tomorrow, and a lot of people probably don't even know we got a severe weather threat coming up because it hasn't been talked about all week. We're just now getting to the enhanced risk and stuff like that. So a lot of people have no idea we have severe weather coming up tomorrow. So make sure they do know, make sure they're well aware of the situation. If they're planning on traveling, I know we got a lot of games going on up there in northeastern Arkansas, stuff like that, soccer games and everything like that. Make sure that if you're planning on traveling, you spot out, any gas stations, grocery stores, restaurants, anything like that, just in case we do have any tornado warnings or even the severe thunderstorm warnings, because the severe thunderstorm warnings are going to carry that significant large hail potential and the significant damaging wind potential. So keep that in mind as we get towards tomorrow here. Now, like I mentioned before, go download our free app. If you have an Android, Apple, we're still doing testing. We're still trying to get it approved and stuff like that. It's a very long process. But if you do have Android, you can get to our app. If you don't have it, it's not the end of the world. We will get Apple out eventually. It does have radar. Make sure you make an account to get those severe weather alerts. And also, one more thing is advanced features will be posted on that app in bi-weekly updates. And the reason why they're not doing it this week, stuff like that, it's because we're still trying to get Apple out. Once Apple is out in full on the iOS side, then we'll start rolling out those updates. And I think you guys are going to really like the app going forward, especially later this year. So let's talk about the risk area here. Now, this has expanded since last night. I did a YouTube video last night. We talked about, this could potentially expand, and it did go enhanced risk at midnight. This has expanded since midnight. So we're now talking from Jonesboro to Wynn, all the way down to the Jonesboro and the Crossit and the El Dorado area. That's going to be the area of concern as we get towards your day on Saturday here. And that's going to include the very large hail potential, the damaging wind potential, and also the tornado potential, something that we're going to have to watch very closely as we get towards the day tomorrow. That's mainly going to be tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow evening. So make sure you stay well aware of the situation, have those game plans ready to go as we get towards tomorrow here. Now, let's talk about the breakdown risk. And this is going to be, let me double check something real fast. I'm having, the reason why I keep looking at my computer over here is I think I'm having some issues. Let me double check and make sure we're good to go. Okay, so all right, so back to what I was saying here. We're going to kind of break down the risk, then I'm going to talk about timing, and then I'm going to go over to Futurecast and answer a few questions here. So I'm going to talk about the hail threat. I think the hail threat is going to be priority number one as we get towards tomorrow. And I know a lot of people will ignore it because it's not a tornado, or it's not a significant tornado or anything like that. But this is coming in at a very worst time during the week. This is a Saturday where everybody and their mothers is going to be outside doing outdoor stuff. You know, you got games and everything like that. And you're talking about the potential tennis ball size to baseball size hail with some of these severe thunderstorms as we get towards tomorrow. So if you do have those outdoor plans tomorrow, make sure that you're staying weather aware. That's the biggest thing I want to stress to you guys right now. Make sure you have a game plan. Like I said, this is not all going to be tornadoes or anything like that. Severe weather is way more than just a wedge on the ground. It is large hail. It is damaging winds up to 80 to 90 miles per hour. It's flooding. It's way more than just tornadoes. So keep that in mind. Something that we're going to have to watch tomorrow is that very large hail threat, especially from north central Arkansas to central, all the way down to southern Arkansas here. In those areas in the yellow, you still do have the risk for large hail, but I do think your hail threat is going to be pretty significant, especially from New Harrison to Mount Home to Walnut Ridge to Jonesboro area now to Little Rock, all the way down to Magnolia, El Dorado. By the way, you may hear some dogs in the background. There's a car passing through. So let me go ahead and take a look at this. And so forth. This is going to be the tornado risk as we get towards tomorrow. So this is going to be from northern Arkansas to central, all the way down to southern Arkansas. Something that we're going to have to watch very closely as we get towards tomorrow here. Now, this is going to be the tornado threat, and I mentioned before the tornado threat is going to be kind of back and forth. I know it's kind of worst time for a toss to bark. But the biggest thing regarding the tornado threat as we get towards tomorrow is it's going to be with these supercells that develop. It's going to be the discrete supercells that develop across central and the southern Arkansas. Now, this risk, if you paid attention this morning, was from basically central to southeastern Arkansas. Now, with the latest update, it has expanded. It's expanded from basically western Arkansas to central and into eastern Arkansas here. So, the tornado threat is, I'm not going to say no tornado threat. It's very, very back and forth because of the fact that this environment that we're going to head into as we get towards tomorrow, it's not going to be super conducive for tornadoes. It's not like the last two events we had where it was almost a guarantee that we had a solidified tornado threat. The tornado threat here is rather what we call conditional, but it can't be ignored because some of these supercells, they may have the potential to rotate. And Cam, I know he's in this live stream, we talked about this, this morning, what we call mesoscale accidents. Basically, you get a boundary in place, storm interacts with that boundary, it rotates, and you get a tornado. So keep that in mind. The tornado threat is not as significant as the large hail and the damaging wind threat, but it can't be ignored. So any tornado warnings that get issued, you guys know full well we're going to be here. We're going to be on top of it as we get towards tomorrow. But it's rather questionable. I'm not saying it's not going to happen, but it's not as, significant or guaranteed like we have with the last two events, given that you don't have all that wind shear in place across the area. But still going to have to watch it as we get towards tomorrow here. Now, the damaging wind threat, as I mentioned before, is up there along with the hail threat. That's going to go from Mount Home to Little Rock, all the way down to Magnolia, El Dorado, the Crossing area, over towards Brinkley, the Wynn area. That does now include Jonesboro up there in northeastern Arkansas, and I'm eyeing that area because there's a lot of people that are going up there for baseball games and stuff tomorrow. So make sure you are staying weather aware. If you know somebody that says, oh, tomorrow's going to be fine, it's just going to be sunshine all day, we're going to be good, tell them about this severe weather threat, because this has not been advertised a lot until just now. So make sure they know there's a severe weather threat as we get towards tomorrow here. Now, let's talk about timing. And the biggest thing I want to stress, this is kind of a first look. I think this timing map may actually be pretty decent, but we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening. So this is kind of a first look at what we're looking at here. And western Arkansas, from Fayetteville to Fort Smith to Waldron to Mena, we're talking about that 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. time frame. Now, I think this is where your initiation is going to start. Mainly for those supercells are going to start going, and I mean when those supercells take off, it's going to be quick. They're gonna develop really, really fast. I'm going to show you the instability coming up in a little bit. But the environment tomorrow is going to be very, very supportive for severe weather, regardless of the tornado threat. So keep that in mind. West Central Arkansas, from Harrison to Mount Home to Russellville, all the way down to Texarkana, we're talking that 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. time frame. And then from Central Arkansas to Walnut Ridge, all the way down to Pine Bluff, Camden, Magnolia, we're talking that 6 p.m. to that 10 p.m. time frame. And then Eastern Arkansas, we're talking about an 8 p.m. to midnight time frame. Now, you're wondering, Northeastern Arkansas, and a lot of people up there for baseball games and stuff like that, why am I concerned about you guys during the afternoon? Well, this timing map is for the line of storms. It doesn't account for any cells that may try to pop up during the afternoon or during the evening. This is not like, minute by minute Futurecast or whatever. So have that sense of awareness up as we get towards tomorrow. It's going to be very warm. During much of the day, you should have partly cloudy skies. There could be some mostly cloudy skies, but partly cloudy skies across the area. It's going to be very warm. It's going to feel like baseball weather tomorrow. So make sure you have that game plan ready to go, regardless if it's a tornado threat or not. Treat severe thunderstorm warnings just like you do with a tornado warning, folks. Severe weather is not just tornadoes, man. I want to make that perfectly clear. It's large hail, it's damaging winds, and it's flooding. There's a whole lot more than severe weather than just tornadoes. So keep that in mind as we get towards tomorrow here. But this is a timing map as we get towards tomorrow. And also, this is on the page. Just got posted first thing this morning. So if you end up missing the live stream, you can always go check us out on Facebook. We'll have this information up for you guys at this point. So what I'm going to do for just a little bit here is I'm going to switch this over, and I'm going to attempt to try to get some comments up here. I don't know if it's gonna work for me. This tablet has not been my best friend all day, so we're gonna see real quickly here. Okay, so this is not gonna work. So I'm gonna have to switch this over to the computer over here, and we're gonna pull this up. And give me 1 second. I know it's kind of glitching out on me a little bit. It's been having a little bit of technical issues on my side. So I'm trying to pull up Montana's comment. She said that She has an Android. She's been getting alerts. I do appreciate y'all for wishing me a happy birthday. Just going over all the comments right now here, and the biggest thing is the questions I've gotten about the hail size. It's going to be tennis ball size up to baseball size hail. So that kind of hail can do some damage. It will hurt. I've been hit by tennis ball size hail before. It does not feel good. So let me go back to that real quickly here. And like I mentioned before, for those that are, trying to figure out specific city and county and stuff like that, this is what these graphics are for. Pay attention to your geography, guys. You got to know where you live. You got to know where your placement is at this point, okay? So, Martha, I'm going to try to pull your comment. There it is. So, is it going to be more in the north, central? I think it's going to be more of a widespread area. It's not so much as a specific area is going to see the large hail threat. I think it's going to be a more of a widespread area across the board. So, keep that in mind. I know the last two events, it's been more specific with the last two events. This time around, it's more widespread versus the last two events. So, keep that in mind. This is going to be more of a widespread area instead of more of a specific city area. This is going to be majority of the state at this point dealing with the hail threat as we get towards tomorrow here. Now, the timing map, like I mentioned before, this is going to be your timing. I know everybody's kind of asking. Folks, I'm stressing this right now before severe weather gets started tomorrow. Pay attention, okay? The graphics are on the page. You're not missing anything if you don't hear it in the live stream. I guarantee you, if you don't hear it in the live stream, it's not the end of the world. Go to Facebook, take 5 seconds, go look at the graphic, and it's there. I'm just going over in the live stream that way you guys have that information, but it's not. You're not gonna miss it. I guarantee you're not gonna miss it. Just go on Facebook and you can find that information here. Okay, so let me double check everything real quick. Cam, make sure, and that's a great point. I know you can't see it because the thing is kind of is short, but basically he said make sure you take the severe thunderstorm warnings just as seriously as the tornado warnings, with the possibility of considerable to destructive attacks with a very large health threat. Please take those severe thunderstorm warnings seriously, folks. That's the biggest thing we're trying to stress to you guys right now. This is a good point. You know, we had that event over there in Oklahoma a couple of days ago that did some damage over there. You know, he had some very large hail over there, and it was denting cars and stuff like that. So make sure you're paying attention to just that, you know, the hail and the damage and wind threat, just like the tornado threat. I'm not saying the tornado threat is zero, that's going to happen. You shouldn't pay attention. I'm just saying there's more to severe weather than just a wedge on the ground. So keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind as we get towards tomorrow here. This is going to be kind of what we call, kind of think of it like a combination pizza. You know, you have all your toppings and stuff on there instead of that one specific one. So for tomorrow, you're going to have that very large hail threat, the damaging wind threat, and also you're going to have the tornado threat as we get towards tomorrow here. Okay, so like I said before, thank y'all so much for the happy birthday comments. I really do appreciate it. Noah's going to be doing here. He does an amazing job. I'm going to be in the field, so you guys will hear me throughout the weekend, but I'm going to take care of, I'm going to be doing that as we get towards this weekend here. Okay, so yeah, Kim, one of the moderators, you know, damage winds can do just as much damage as a tornado can. I cannot tell you, and Cam will tell you himself, that Oklahoma event we were on, you know, last month, that moderate risk, the ratio, I mean, 100-mile-per-hour winds, and the damage from that look almost similar to what a tornado can do. So keep that in mind. You know, it's not just tornadoes or any, you know, it's not just tornadoes. It's damaging winds, and it's that health that you've got to worry about at this point. So that's the biggest thing I want to stress. I love that comment, Kim. Let me see here. And Beth, I know there's also, you can use Discord. I've been getting notifications via Discord, waiting on the Apple app. You can do that as well. If you want access to our Discord app, you don't have to do it, by the way, because I know it's not for everybody. But if you want access to that, one of my moderators put a link in the comments, and they can get to it. But you can use that as well. And that does a real good job in alerting you until we get the Apple side out, which, like I said, it's on their side, not us. We're being patient here. So let me see here, going over everything right now. I know, like I said, a lot of people are kind of asking, you know, what's happening tomorrow. This is, like I said, something that a lot of people did not see. This was not advertised like the last two events where, you know, it was almost a guarantee that we were going to see severe weather. This time around, it took a few days to kind of materialize, and then boom, you've got the severe weather threat for tomorrow. So keep that in mind. Like I said, I know there's a lot of people out there that's not in the stream that's thinking tomorrow it's going to be just like it is today. Sunny, warm, nothing's going to happen, and they're going to be caught off guard by severe weather. So make sure that they are well aware of the severe weather threat as we get towards tomorrow. Cam, I love that comment. If you know me personally, and this has happened the longest time I've been here at Arkansas Weather Watchers. Every single time my birthday comes around, there's some sort of severe event. If you didn't know, I was born on the Nashville tornado outbreak back in '98. So that, I guess it just follows me. Like every single year around this time of the year, I get that severe threat. I had one last year, had one before last. It follows. So don't blame me. I'm just a messenger here. But yeah, you can't have my birthday week without some sort of severe threat. So let me see here. Double check it real quick. Going everything right now. Yeah, I remember that, Cam. Outrunning that derecho was not fun. That was a 100-mile-per-hour derecho coming our way in Oklahoma. It's not fun trying to get away from that. Brandy, thank you for that. And if more people in the comments can let me know if there's other events going on tomorrow, I would fully appreciate that. I know she said there's prom going on in Malvern tomorrow night, so keep that in mind. Like I said, it's a very crucial part of the year. It's mid-April. You got prom, you've got baseball games, you've got outdoor activities going on and stuff like that. You got people trying to grill out because it's finally warm. Tell them about the severe threat coming up for tomorrow. That's the biggest thing I want to stress to you guys. So I'm going to switch this over. And by the way, timing is above my head, so you don't have to worry about it. I'm going to switch this over to the HR, and we're going to take a look at the HR. Now, what I'm going to do for just a little bit, this is right around 3 p.m. So by time map over here, I know I have 1 to 4, but around that time frame, there's going to be some sort of initiation. Now, you can see with the HR, it just immediately explodes that supercell just south of Harrison. Don't take this as literal, it's going to happen. However, something I would keep an eye on here. And you can see this really starts to expand by the time we get towards that 4 or 5 o'clock time frame from basically western Arkansas. That's Harrison, just west of Russellville on I-40. East of Fort Smith. It's very questionable up here, northwestern Arkansas, if you're actually going to get anything going. But let's take this out a little further. You can see by 6 p.m., and I do believe the HR is going to try, but I don't know if it's going to verify with this overall solution, because the last couple events, it's been kind of back and forth with, development and everything like that. It's been really wanting to have that messy mode, and the messy mode ends up not verifying. So we'll see what ends up happening out of this, but you get the general picture from Mount Home all the way to Russellville. That's towards that's east of Mena. That's near Mount Ida, all the way down to Texarkana. That's about 6 o'clock, and then it should start making its way towards the Little Rock area by the time we get towards that 7-8 o'clock period. And you can see this cell in particular. You can see right there near the Russellville area to the Little Rock, just west of Little Rock. Some of these cells are going to try to hook. This is why I'm saying the tornado threat is not non-existent. It's not significant like it was with the last event. However, it's not zero. So any tornado warnings that do get issued, we're going to be here. Me and Cam, Derek, and Michael, we're all going to be out. We're going to be chasing and stuff like that for tomorrow. So keep that in mind. Also, Kevin, I didn't mean to forget about you, Kevin, but keep this in mind as we get towards tomorrow here. This is right around 7 p.m. And like I said, we got a lot of activities going on tomorrow. Brandy brought up the point, prom tomorrow night and everything like that. This is 8 o'clock, basically from Batesville to Little Rock, all the way down to Camden, El Dorado. There's your line of storms beginning to develop. We're going to have to watch the progression of this line here. That line is going to pack a serious punch. And then you take this out at 9 o'clock over here in eastern Arkansas now, basically from Jonesboro to basically Stuttgart to Pine Bluff, all the way down to Crosset. And then by 10 o'clock, this is pushing into far eastern Arkansas, the Mississippi River, and we should be wrapping this up by the time we get towards midnight here. I think HR may be a little bit too fast. We should be wrapping this up right around midnight tomorrow night here. Now, what I'm going to do for just a little bit is I'm going to show you guys the instability. And like I said before, let me take this back over to the 12Z and show you guys this real fast. And you can see the instability for tomorrow. Well over 1,500. You got some cells that may try to bubble up by that 3 o'clock time frame here. But I mean, boy, look at there. 2,500 came down in southern Arkansas near 3,000. And it really starts to explode. And you can see when a line begins to push through, the line uses all that energy that's available. So this is where your damaging wind threat's going to come. Your very large hail threat's going to come tomorrow. And we will keep an eye on the tornado threat. I don't want to sleep on the tornado threat as we get towards tomorrow. Now, this is a product that I use. This is what we call the 0 to 1 kilometer helicity. Just in layman's terms, it tells you about how much rotation you have going on. Anything above 150 to 200 will normally get the job done. The last 2 events we've had 400, 500. That's why you had the significant tornado threat with that. But you can see here, these numbers are relatively low, so you're not going to have the significant EF2 plus tornadoes for tomorrow. However, you can't discount a few tornadoes being possible, so keep that in mind for tomorrow here. And you can see by the time we get towards 8, 9 o'clock how your helicity really starts to increase over here in eastern Arkansas. And I talked about this in the YouTube video last night, and I'm going to stand on this. I think central into eastern Arkansas will be your best shot if there were to be any sort of tornadic potential tomorrow. that will be your best shot of seeing it over here in eastern Arkansas, central to eastern Arkansas as we get towards tomorrow here. And you can see this is your 0 to 3 kilometer, 200 to 300. This will support your tornado threat as we get towards tomorrow. Like I said before, not expecting a significant amount of tornadoes like we saw with the last two events. However, just keep in mind that if we do have tornado warnings tomorrow, know what's going to be here. He's going to keep you guys updated as we get towards tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening here. And I know a lot of people have plans and everything like that here, okay? So, let me take a look at that real quick. Oh, Gwen, I see that. I see that. I plan on having Cam bring a helmet and a bat. I love y'all in the comments. That's great. So, yeah, Catherine, yeah, I question that sometimes. I really do. Because I think it just followed me since when I was born. Let me see here. Go Hogs. Love them. Let me double check everything real quick. And let me see here. Going over everything right now. At Austin, I'm not going to do that. There's no way. That does not feel good. I'm not going to do that tomorrow. So, give me 1 second here. We'll double check everything real quick. I think that is it in terms of everything I've seen. You know, we've got a lot of people like, you know, horse shows and stuff like that for tomorrow. So, keep that in mind. You know, the size of the hail and the wind damage. And that's another thing. Wind-driven hail. Cam will be the first one to tell you. It ain't fun. It ain't fun, and it can do some serious damage. So it's not only just the tornado threat we'll have to watch out for. We will have to watch out for the hail threat and the damaging wind threat for tomorrow. So I'm going to back this up all the way through, give you guys kind of a revamp of this live stream, and then I'm going to hop off of here, guys. This live stream will be pinned on the top of the page, so if anybody missed it, with it being 2 o'clock in the afternoon, come back, rewatch it tonight, stuff like that. If anything else happens, we will be here. We'll keep you guys updating here. But I'm not really too concerned about numbers right now because it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a Friday. Everybody's still at work and everything like that. So that's pretty awesome. So if you have an Android app, go download our app, Arkansas Weather Watchers. Don't need a link or anything. It's very searchable. If you don't have it, you don't have an Android, you don't have anything like that, you have an Apple product, continue to follow us on Facebook and YouTube. You can also utilize Discord. Discord has an alert thing that you can use on there if you don't have Android. So keep that in mind. But make sure that if you do have Android, you go download our app so you guys are staying ahead of the storm as we get towards tomorrow. The enhanced risk for much of the state, I do not see this going moderate. I don't see this going moderate this time around. I'm going to knock on wood with that because I said that with the last event and it ended up going moderate. So we'll see. I don't think if there were to be some sort of consideration with that, it would be a hail-driven moderate or a wind-driven moderate. It won't be a tornado-driven moderate. This environment is not 100% conducive for tornadoes. It's not saying that nothing's going to happen. I'm not saying you're not going to get a tornado threat or anything like that. It's just don't expect the widespread tornado threat like we had with the last two events. Expect more, like Cam said, the severe thunderstorm warnings with the considerable damage tag, the destructive damage tag, and everything like that. So keep that in mind as we get towards tomorrow. As a matter of fact, I may post that on the page going forward. So the very large hail threat for tomorrow, that's the biggest thing. Much of Arkansas, if you're in that hatched area, you run the risk of 2-inch in diameter hail or greater as we get towards tomorrow. Your lapse rate is going to be 8.5 to 9. I mean, you're going to have a substantial hail threat as we get towards tomorrow. So if there were to be one, it will be a moderate-driven hail threat. If it even were to get that high, I think an enhanced risk will be more than enough suitable for this. So this is your tornado threat for tomorrow, like I mentioned before. I can't say no to the tornado threat. And my good conscience, I can't say no to the tornado threat. The tornado threat is going to be present. It's going to require a little bit of work, but I think you do have the tornado threat for tomorrow. I think this is a pretty solid 5% across the state. With the hail and wind threat being the majority, with the tornado threat kind of being attentive, and also a lot of people are probably going to be asking what kind of watches we're going to have and stuff like that. I personally think you can get away with a severe thunderstorm watch tomorrow. Obviously, if your tornado threat gets bumped up a little more, you talk a tornado threat. Not tornado threat, you talk a tornado watch. But I think you can get away with a severe thunderstorm watch as we get towards tomorrow here. So keep that in mind. I'm not saying your tornado threat is zero. You shouldn't pay attention to it like that's going to happen. just watch it. Just watch it. You guys know how Arkansas weather works. Just watch the tornado threats we get towards tomorrow, and then also the wind damage threat. Like I mentioned before, wind damage, hail. Your hail threat's priority number 1, your wind is priority number 2, and then your tornado threat is priority number 3. And don't let your guard down, because if we start getting these discrete cells, they may expose that tornado threat for tomorrow here. And if you miss anything, you can always go back and rewind the live stream. I promise you, if you need time tonight or something like that, this live stream's not going anywhere, so you're not going to miss anything. I guarantee you. So let me see here. Thank y'all so much for that. Throwing back to the March 27th, 2021 event, I covered that event from the Weather Center. That was an enhanced risk 10% tour across eastern Arkansas that produced baseball-sized hail along with your significant tornado threat. Now, the only reason why your tornado threat was high with that event is because your helicity values were pretty high. I mean, you had 300 to 400 helicity and stuff like that, so that kind of supported the significant tornado threat. This time around, unless something majorly changes, I know I've seen guys do this before, week on onset, you get to the day of, and it's much higher. So we'll see what ends up happening with that. I think that's a really good comparison to that. Barbara, I'll have to go back and look at that. The Hailstorm 1989, I'll have to go back and look at that at this point. So will I be doing an update tomorrow? Yeah, I'll be doing an update probably from the field tomorrow. Noah's going to be in the Weather Center for tomorrow, giving you guys like live updates if there's any tornado warnings or anything like that in here. So just double checking everything. I think that is it for all the comments. So like I said before, this is going to get pinned on top of the page. All the graphics stuff is going to be on Facebook. YouTube, I think YouTube allows you to post on there now. If that's correct, I may do it on YouTube as well, and also on Discord. So you're not going to miss anything. I guarantee you guys. Thank y'all so much for all the happy birthday wishes, guys. I wouldn't have it any other way. I really do appreciate y'all being here. It means a lot. So I'm going to be gone for much of the weekend. However, I will be out in the field giving you guys reports, so you guys aren't going to miss anything. Treat Noah well. Okay, he's one of my backup guys. He does an amazing job. He puts 1,000% into these live streams, giving you guys the alerts and everything like that. So treat him well. Okay, we have moderators on this page. Don't go giving him a hard time just because it's not me. Okay, so keep that in mind. I'm not a solo show here. I've got an entire team that busts their behind for each and every one of y'all. So treat him with respect. Give him a warm welcome tomorrow. It's not his first time. He's done an amazing job and stuff like that. But I just want to make that clear. I know it's not going to be me, but he's really good. So make sure y'all treat him well over the weekend. I will be back. Like I said before, I'll be here throughout the weekend giving you guys updates from the field and everything like that. So continue to keep you guys updated. Like I said before, tomorrow, if you have any outdoor plans, drill it into somebody's head that we got a severe threat for tomorrow. So I know a lot of people out there probably don't even know tomorrow is actually going to do anything. They probably think it's going to be sunny. So drill it in their head. We got a severe threat coming up for tomorrow. That's all I got for you guys this afternoon. We'll continue to keep you guys updated right here in your source for all things Arkansas weather.